In this video, we are going to show how to import an Excel data file into RapidMiner. So, since we want to import an Excel data file, we will look for an operator dealing with Excel files. So we go to our little window with operators and we start typing in Excel. So for Excel we have options read, comma separated, read Excel, and this is the one that we are going to use. So we choose read Excel operator and we drag it into our process window. We now need to set the parameters for this operator. The easiest way to do this is by going into the import configuration wizard. So we select the import configuration wizard and try to locate our file. We will import data on the weather in Ljubljana for a year-long period. So we locate the weather Ljubljana Excel file and we click next. We check if this is really the data that we want. This window, this step 2, allows us to select the spreadsheet from which we are going to load this. We only have one spreadsheet in this document, so it will do. This step 2 also allows us to select just a region. So for example, if we don't want to select all of the columns, we select just a region, a part of the columns which is going to be imported. The rest is not going to be imported. We go to next step. Here we can make some annotations to certain observations that are going to be imported. We don't need any observations at this point in time. So we go next. And here the RapidMiner will guess value types for us and assign roles to attributes. Now, a special attention is needed when importing date and times. As you can see here, we have a comprehensive date, so containing both date and hour. Then we have date time, but you see here time is always midnight. So because the information contained here is just the date, and then we have the hour. Now we probably don't need all three of them. So let's say I will choose just to select the first one, which is the comprehensive one. So I deselect date and hour and just choose this one. Now as you can see, the guessed type here is polynomial. I don't want it to be polynomial, I want it to be date. Now in order for RapidMiner to know what format of the date is, to import it correctly, I need to choose the correct format. So there is a bunch of options where Y's stand for year, M's, capital M's stands for month, D's stands for days, H's stand for hour, and small case m's stand for minutes. I can just look at this and tell what the date format is. So basically our date format is dd.mm.yyyy, and then I have the hour, so HH column mm. if I type the date like this, I'm telling RapidMiner what the actual date is, so it should be imported correctly. If my intention is to later on merge this data with some other data, I can also assign a role of ID, so the date in this particular case, so this date and time, can serve as an ID. So I can assign this role at this point. Similarly, I could assign some roles to other variables as well, for example, the role of label, and so on. When I'm happy with the settings, I click Finish. To check if the import was successful, I can connect the read Excel operator to the output port and run it. You can check this, and seems like the import was successful. For later uses, it might be convenient to add the data to a local repository. So in order to do that, I store an object into the repository. So I locate the store operator by typing store into the operators here. So, and I drag it to the process line. Now I need to specify where I want it. So I specify here, I want it in a local depository under data, and just call it Ljubljana weather. If I run this process now, I still see it in the output. If I go here in the local depository data, it should appear here, the Ljubljana weather. So later on, instead of reading the Excel, I can simply drag this data from the repository, and you can see I have this data here safely stored. This concludes this short tutorial on importing data from Excel into RapidMiner.